Greetings everyone, it's July, so we've got a new SEO newsletter for you. Tons of stuff happening, lots of Google updates and client questions. Let's dive in. Alright everyone, welcome to the July SEO newsletter. So a lot is happening already. Google announcing lots of new updates that have just hit. We have updates for the spam update for Google SEO. We have updates for Google July core update as well. So that is a big one that's happening. Google also compared SEO to going to the movies. We wrote a fun little article on that, so be sure to check that out. Also, the Apple user tracking, we continue to monitor and check that. We have seen decreases in certain client accounts with credit and lending specifically. Also potentially with employment, so be aware of that. If you're making any changes for your ad accounts, you'll want to talk to your ad rep and adjust things accordingly to best fit and have the good campaigns. Also with SEO news, there is a spam update which is rolling out June 28th. That was the end of June. And right now we have updates happening for Google at the July core update. The spam update didn't really affect much. The July core update is a bigger update, so check with your advisor on that. Google Ads has also the biggest offer I have ever seen. The biggest offer I've ever seen with Google. Google's giving now a $1,000 Google ad credit. This is massive. I've seen 100, 200, 300, but I've seen 500. But I have never seen $1,000. If you're a new customer, new client accounts, you can get a $1,000 ad credit. Again, this is only for new client accounts, so be aware of that. But that is quite an offer. You have to spend that, basically you have to spend $1,000. It's Brewster's Millions style. So you have to spend it or you get nothing. So you have 60 days, not 30 days, traditionally 60 days to get that Google ad credit. Quite impressive there. Now let's go into the client questions. We've had a lot of really good client questions this month. A lot about Instagram, which is kind of interesting. First off, what software and things do you use to record your videos? This is a very good question. So when I record videos, I use a camera, which is a Canon 90D, and it is a nice camera, I would say, for sure. But basically this camera is, let's see if we can show it here. This camera right here is the Canon 90D, and you'll want a lens with it. I think there's cheaper options than that, but there's like the basic camera, and it's a really great camera, as you can see. It's a very nice camera, and this actually has a different lens on it. I'm using a Tokina 17mm 135 lens, which is very nice. I have all different kinds of lenses and things I like to use. I also do video. Cowbunnet does video stuff as well. But for this one, I love using it for its photography aspects. It's a great camera for photos and things like that. But yeah, I use another program called OBS. OBS is a free program that you can download and use. It is a broadcaster software, and you can configure it, and I can do all the fancy switching and all that fun stuff. I also use actually my phone here to switch between things. So if I hit this this button, for example, it'll change to my camera. If I go over here, it'll go to my browser. So that's a little handy tip there. And I actually have a mic. This is my mic. This mic is the blue ice or snowball, blue snowball, as it's called. So this camera is, obviously a very good camera, and it does very well. I also use a Cam Link, is what it's called. Cam Link 4K is the item by Elgato, which connects my camera to my computer. So there's a lot of different things. Now, you don't need all this necessarily. You can use a webcam. You can use some basic stuff to obviously get it working. But that's my particular setup. I recommend a good mic. I recommend a good camera. And I recommend some type of software with that. OBS is a free program. So great question there. All right, next question is, how many characters should an alt text be for SEO? So this should be between 80 and 125 characters. It's designed for accessibility. I love having very accessible images. Alt text is the information behind an image. So whenever you add an image to a blog, you should always have alt text, alternative text. 80 to 105 characters or so, and you want to describe what the image is. If it's a beautiful sunset with the sun going down, maybe waves crashing into the rock, you want to describe that for hearing impaired or visually impaired, people, so they can see your image in a way. Good question. Next, and also you can use keywords in there as well, so that's another benefit right there. Next is, can I promote a TikTok video reel on Instagram? No, you cannot. As of February 2021, Instagram canceled the ability to use TikTok reels on Instagram. Videos with a TikTok watermark cannot be promoted on Instagram. Good question. Next question. Does Google Ads take time zone into account when I schedule? Yes, they use time zone of the location to run your ads. So if you run a national campaign and set your ads to run 9 to 5, then they run on that same time across other time zones. So make sure you're on the correct time zone. Sometimes it puts you in a Pacific time, so be sure of that you're in the correct time zone there. But very good question, very important. Next question, can I run ads with Instagram Reels? No, Instagram Reels uses copyrighted music, so that's the big issue there. I mean, TikTok does similar stuff sometimes with that, so you can't promote these videos. You can't promote TikTok video shares on Instagram either. So, next question, can I promote Instagram giveaways? No. You can't. There's a lot of stipulations. Facebook really cracked down at this. We have a great link in the description, basically show notes, or go to the blog for the link there, and that tells all about it, of how to run contests. You have to have very specific wording in your contest to even show the post. So be aware of that before you run a giveaway. If you need any help, contact Cal Abundant. We would be able to help you. Okay, next question. Is there a benefit from having links to companies I've worked with on my homepage? Yes. You need to make them active links so they can benefit from SEO, albeit it's a small amount. But there is what's like Moz.com has this to say. Not only does linking out not harm a site's ranking, it appears to carry some positive correlations with ranking, trust, etc. on both a page and domain-wide level. So very interesting there. Next question is, does the highest budget get the first Google ad? Okay, this is very interesting. No. Not always. So Google uses very advanced techniques, obviously, as you can imagine, to classify auctions. They have page score, ad quality, and budgets are taken into account. This means how good your page is, how well it's designed, and the UI perspective. When people click on it, does it have a high click rate? Are people, when they go to your page, going to do something? Because Google wants to send people to valid pages, because that benefits them. That means that if Google shows a page and they know that there's a very high chance that if people go on this page, they're going to click on something, they're going to stay on the page, they're going to do something positive. Google knows that information through Google Analytics. Then you're going to be happier. If you find the answer, you're going to be happier. You're going to use Google more, and they can keep showing more ads or whatever, right? So Google wants you to have a good experience. So it's not just budget, although that is taken into account. It's also the ad quality. So if you have a good ad with great text, great images, even if it's a search ad, you have an interesting title that engages people, that gets clicks, that could win over an ad that is not as well written or has a poor website that you go to. So be mindful of that. It all takes into account. There is some benefit if you're a long-standing advertiser as well. I don't think it's necessarily as big a factor as before. I believe years ago it was a bigger factor. but you can consider that as well. There's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. Great question. Last question. Which posts should I boost on my Facebook or Facebook posts? Which posts should I boost? Good question. So Facebook has an option that basically, if you go into Facebook, you can view which posts are most popular by one thing is called a distribution score, and that will actually tell you how popular a certain post is, and near the type of post, certain items, certain things will have that score. So like here's an example of one with a distribution score. Next to it, it's basically saying you should advertise this post, and then some others. This one has a very high distribution score, so that would be recommended to boost. That's how that kind of works. And, you know, another thing is that when we're advertising and take into account, we use a proprietary social media tool that tells us a little better, like what's the best, you know, one to boost. That's actually a new feature that Facebook did, the distribution score. Our tool is a lot easier. It tells you a bunch of different, you know, posts that would be, here's the best ones kind of thing. With Facebook, sometimes you have to do some digging to be sure it's the best one. It's not always, you know, as cut and dry, I guess. I think the distribution score is a good thing they've added, so that's good. If you want more information about, you know, your posts and stuff, you can go into your actual insights, and your insights data will tell you information on posts and other things that way too. So, but you have to do some digging. It's not quite as obvious necessarily, but that's essentially what it is. So, you know, hey everybody, thanks for watching so much. Check out our website. Check out our blog. We have all the details on our blog for this month of July for the newsletter. Everyone have a wonderful time. I hope that this information was insightful and helpful to you. If it was, give it a like, give a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm to know that people should watch this video. So pass that on as well. We really appreciate it. Everyone, be well.